Alrighty, so this is how to create the wrap up question at the end of the lesson or the unit or whatever you're working on at that time. It's really super simple how to do this. What I end up doing is just like the warm up activity. You hit the plus. The big thing is you don't want it as an assignment and you don't want it as a discussion usually. Sometimes like I choose, like I look at the lesson plan and see which would be better. Usually 9 times out of 10, the easiest thing to do is do a quiz. So then I go to a new quiz. What I always name it is wrap up. And then you want to keep doing that over and over and over because the kids will then know what it means. So I click wrap up, go in here. Now you're gonna have a quiz question. Couple things like come up when you look at it. So I go to edit. Once you go to edit, the big thing is your question. Like where do you get it from? Like all that kind of stuff is like some of the questions that I've been asked. I use the same question that everyone else does. So usually what I do is I just go to question. I go to new question. So it's going to come up with this. The big thing is you can't make it a multiple choice. You want to make it an essay question. When you do an essay question, then you come down here and this is your actual question you're going to be asking. So what I'd end up doing is this right here is the wrap up part of the slide. So what I end up doing is I literally copy and paste it, hit Control C. I will tell you one of the biggest things that you have to pay attention to when you are doing the wrap up is you need to make sure that you're paying attention to the lessons, because if you just carelessly go through and just do the warm up and it really don't make it a bigger deal, it can hurt you when you get to the wrap up like it did with this lesson. Because if the kids didn't really try on the warm up question, it's going to be hard on the wrap up question for them to answer it. So then what I do, come here, hit Control V. Again, like I've said in my last video, my kids usually throw a fit if I put it in 12 font, so I usually put it on 18. So the big one is making this right here, changing it. Usually I highlight it and I change the font to red. This right here tells the kids that this is what I want them to do. And usually what I end up doing is I also add to it. Please make sure that you type in complete sentences. And then I leave it like that. And then I come down here, update question. This question is right there. Then you hit save. And that's what the test will be. It'll just be that question. So then when the kids look at it, it'll look something like this when they're doing it. And then they can sit here and type and answer it down below it. And they can do whatever they need to, make sure they do sentences. It's even timed, so it tells me if they spent more time or less time on it than what it should be. Sometimes I tell the kids that they need to wait 2 or 3 minutes before they answer the question, so that gives them that think time, stuff like that. But what ends up happening is the kids will look at it like this in the lesson. So they always look at it and it says warm up activity, the guided notes go in the middle, and then wrap up. And then what ends up happening with all that is I can have that done and over with, and then I can make comments on stuff. So that's what I have on that. If you have any questions, just email me.